Hello Tesla fans, there's another one of my videos. This one's going to be a little different. This one I'm actually going to attempt to commentate the entire trip, give my insight, descriptions on exactly what Tesla FSD is doing, and hopefully it works out. This is again a sort of a test on a lot of things, mainly kind of the microphone sound, how this all sounds in the interior of a car just using the camera and microphone, and whether or not I should probably splurge on getting a microphone to do future content like this. So yeah, today we're just gonna go take a quick drive. I gotta do some Christmas shopping as Christmas is fast approaching, so we have activated FSD to go to nearest Toys R Us to get some gifts. I have switched it up a little bit to go to another point first so that it avoids highways. So I'm trying to keep it completely FSD related and to stay off highways, which currently highways are navigate on autopilot. It's a different system that Tesla uses for their autonomous driving. So I guess to start, for anybody that's kind of new to the system of full self-driving with Tesla, is that there are the two systems currently. There are plans to replace it, and it should be soon, to kind of merge the two systems. That's called single stack. It is apparently coming out with the next version update. So the basics of it are, in the top left hand corner, if you look at the screen here, there's a little blue wheel. Now as long as that wheel is blue, that means that the self-driving autonomous features are on and functioning at the moment. The car is driving itself. So right now we already have a big challenge to see how the Tesla is going to react to it. It needs to change lanes, and it needs to do it safely. Everybody's letting us in. Kind of slow, kind of hesitant, but it did it, and off we go. Again, the system is slow to be extra safe. You can see there's a whole bunch of people around, and the car is very hesitant at proceeding forward. It's giving me more than usual warning signals to go faster and to make sure that I am paying attention. So right now, again, it's still reading it as a construction zone, so it's staying really slow as other people are passing us. The next road sign should give us or prompt us to go back up to speed. So right now it's still reading as the last known speed sign being 35 kilometers an hour, and it needs a new road sign to register that that we should go back to normal speed. So a little bit of a hiccup here to start as the car thinks we should be going 35. I'm going to manually tell it to go 70, and now the car is still driving itself this whole time. Now should be up to speed. So again, on our trip here, describing the basics. Again, as long as that symbol is blue, the car is driving itself. If I intervene in any way, brakes, take control of the steering wheel, that will go from blue, you'll see, from blue to gray, at which point it means that I am in control of the vehicle, or it has demoted itself to just a basic autopilot, which is not as feature rich as the full self-driving. You can see from every about 30 seconds, unless things get more complex, you'll see a little symbol here at the bottom of the screen. And that is basically the car asking me to put pressure on the steering wheel or input any of the dials, so that the car knows that I am in fact still in control of the vehicle and paying attention, and that somebody is present, not sleeping, things of that nature. So with that, it'll flash it on the screen. If I fail to do so within a reasonable amount of time, it'll flash blue up at the top of the screen. And then after that, there'll be a whole myriad of larger, more progressive warning systems, flashing of red, sound effects, things of that nature. And if you fail to do it at all after that point, it will not only ding me as a full self-driving beta tester, 1 point out of 5, but it will also pull the vehicle over and just stop the vehicle. Obviously, because it is no longer safe, there is nobody behind the wheel. So again, if I drop all 5 points, then I am cut from the full self-driving beta program altogether. So obviously I don't want to do that. So I will continuously, you'll see my hand tug at the steering wheel or make adjustments just so the car knows that I am here. Something you can't probably see on the cameras is right above the rear facing mirror, the interior mirror, there is an internal camera. So that internal camera is actually watching me, watching my face, especially while FSD is active, and making sure that my eyes are on the road, I'm not sleeping, and that I'm not looking down at my phone, which is probably most likely with most drivers. So if it sees that, again, it'll throw up the warnings. It'll start the whole myriad of warnings. If I do not respond, FSD will stop and take over the vehicle and pull over. So right now we entered a school zone. It recognized the fact that it was a school zone and that the speed limit was reduced to 30 in that school zone during certain hours, and reduced it accurately, which is very good. We've exited, it's seen the new road sign at 50 kilometers per hour. It's put us up to 50 kilometers per hour, and we continue our trip. Now in the settings, I could choose, and honestly, when I typically drive, I put a offset amount so that I'm doing +5 over the speed limit is kind of my comfort zone. For those of the people that don't live in Ontario or Quebec, we have a lot of crazy drivers. We typically drive over 5 to 10 kilometers an hour over the speed limit on any given road. So I've, for the purpose of these videos and FSD testing, I've limited it to doing the actual speed limit, which is obviously the safest way to do things with a beta testing software. So we're just kind of chugging along here. So far it's been pretty impressive. No takeovers. I had to push the steering wheel once to kind of get it going through that earlier construction zone after the construction ended. So I did that. That is called an intervention. It's not a takeover. So there will be, typically you'll see two kind of scenarios with FSD. There'll be an intervention and a takeover. Takeover is me completely having to turn FSD off because I feel it's unsafe or it's confused or for whatever reason. An intervention is something like I did where it required me to step on the gas to kind of coax it to go forward. Now, a lot of time with FSD, my foot will hover over the gas as it's part of the system built in that when you push on the gas, it's kind of like telling the car that yes, it's okay to proceed. I am aware that you are being cautious right now, software, and I am authorizing you to move forward. So again, we just saw a nice left-hand turn, no issues. It's done everything great. Nice little stop sign here, stops at the stop sign, asking for me a slight turn of force there, progressing forward. Now we have people crossing the road. You'll see that it'll show it up, and that they're not only visible, but they're blue. Anything on that's blue on the screen is something that it is prioritizing at that any given moment of what it thinks it needs to calculate for the best. If it's red, it means that it's like a huge warning for it, and typically a takeover is imminent. Right now we're going into a roundabout, and I will say that Tesla's needs to do some work with the roundabout system. So far so good. I have brought it to this exact spot before to do stress testing on roundabouts, because there are 4 in a row. Right now it's hesitant, it doesn't know what it wants to do. It is being cautious, which is great. That it is extra cautious, it is again still beta, but it could have gone earlier. It stayed extra safe. That's what I like to see, honestly, in a self-driving, autonomous beta vehicle that's still under development, playing that extra safe role. So we're progressing along. It did great. I've had much worse situations in that exact scenario. So it's great to see that as patches come in, that we get improvements like we just saw. As these videos progress, as I make more content, as you guys watch along and subscribe, you'll see different nuances, and hopefully you'll see it improve with me. I have more context. Obviously, I've been doing these FSD videos, or not videos, but FSD drives personally for a little bit of time now. So I have personally seen the progress. You guys are starting from blank slate. So it is what it is. A little bit more about the car. This is a Tesla Model 3 standard range, 2022. I ordered it in October 2021. Took a while to get. I got it March, very end of March of 2022, and I got into the FSD beta program, which was invitation only at the time. I'd say about June, July, if I remember correctly. So I've been driving around, testing it, things of that nature, and finally gotten around to, you know, setting up a camera, filming them, and yeah, going from there. So far with my videos, you know, it's just been kind of sped up with some nice music to listen to, and this is just the attempt to branch out on those type of videos and content, and to see what you guys like. So I would appreciate, after watching this, you know, giving me some insight, some comments, what you guys think, how the microphone quality is, how the video quality is, what would you like to see. Yeah. So right now we are on the Quebec side of Ontario. I guess I forgot to mention that at the start. This is Canada FSD running right now. So we started on the Quebec side. We are going to end up on the Ontario side. And it'll be just interesting to see kind of the transitions between the two. So this is the bridge going over to the Ontario side into Ottawa. If you look off to your right, depending on kind of your view, you can see the Parliament buildings, capital of Canada right there. So quite a neat view. You can see that the Tesla vehicle right here is doing quite well as it looks for its lanes on the bridge and kind of how to proceed forward. Again, with the sound quality, because I'm looking around as I drive, have to look left and right, you know, you might get different qualities, as I do have to pay attention while I'm doing this. So I am still technically driving as we go on here.
200 meters, turn right onto Mackenzie Avenue.
So we are now on the Ontario side in Ottawa. And FSD, I mean, there's no problem going through provinces whatsoever. And we're just kind of carrying on. For those of you not familiar with the area, this is coming up on a more what would be considered downtown Ottawa. A lot more things going on, a lot more complex situations for FSD to navigate through. But let's see if it's up to the task. A little more of what's going on the screen. On the right hand side, you obviously have your navigation. Left hand side is the FSD view, and you can actually expand it so you can just see just the view of what FSD is seeing. Kind of gives you guys a little bit more to look at as this goes along, and to see what the Tesla is, you know, prioritizing as it goes along. So there was a nice turn, no issues there. Quickly switch to the correct lane as it anticipates this you know, left-hand turn lane coming up. It knows it needs to get in the left-hand lane, and did so great. There was a person there that was going to use the crosswalk. It was good to see that it read the situation properly and didn't, you know, slam on the brakes or stop for him, as that person was waiting for us, and not just us, all traffic to go through before he proceeded. So here's another kind of interesting left-hand turn coming up.
Stay on Mackenzie Avenue.
Red light halting us here. Right in front of us is the old Ottawa train station. Obviously there is no train running through downtown Ottawa anymore, but neat little fact there. So as far as the route going forward through downtown, right, we're going to go along the Rideau Canal and try and avoid the highway as much as possible. And yeah, should be a nice little drive, hopefully. As far as the videos themselves, I'm still kind of up in the air of how I'm going to edit them. If I'm going to kind of fast forward through boring parts, you know, add a little bit of music while it's fast forwarded, and then slow down by interesting parts. We'll see. Getting a little honk here. Not going fast enough for people behind us. It's okay. The car's being cautious. That's fine. We'll get a lot of those. It did it safely. That's what matters. Again, it's downtown. People don't like being slower than they need to, so if I'm not going fast enough, they're gonna honk. It is what it is. Expand the view for you guys, see what's going on with the Tesla. It is quite amazing to notice what, you know, the Tesla picks up at any given moment. It has come a long way. I mean, you guys can Google or go on YouTube and look up for, you know, old versions of FSD, and just even on the visualization, it is a night and day experience. Very crisp now, and a lot of new features. So we're doing the speed limit here. This guy that beeped at us behind us is probably gonna hate that. Who cares? Carrying on safely. It is beta test after all. Safety first. Be interesting how it handles this coming up. There are people looking to cross, but the light is still green. See what it prioritizes here. Did slow down a couple kilometers to be extra cautious, which I like, but it didn't stop for them, which is the correct move. So good job, FSD. On the right here, as you see as we drive, that's the Rideau Canal. Come in winter, that gets frozen completely over, and you can actually skate across the whole canal. It is December, but it is a pretty warm December. No snow yet, or whatever little snow we have gotten has melted off. Be interesting with future videos to see how FSD handles snow. My biggest concern probably going forward is winter and snow, and how it's going to handle that. Yeah, I'm not anticipating it's going to do too well in the snow, especially Canadian winters. But we'll see. We'll see what they come forward with. All right, left-hand turn coming up here. Slows right down. Stops for the red light. I guess it could have gone through and committed to the turn. But again, playing it safe. See what it does here. It's waiting for these two cars. Cars have passed and off it goes. It's being a little hesitant here. See how it goes. Come on, Tesla, you got this. Car behind us, probably wondering what the heck is going on. Gave a little gas. Good to go. All right, again, still no takeovers whatsoever. So pretty impressive so far. Had to give it a little pat on the butt there a couple times, but she's going great. Nice smooth stop at this intersection here as we wait for green light. Some other things to note with FSD, for those of you that are new with it, is that it is completely camera based. So other companies, you know, Cruise, to name one, there are a few other ones, but they have gone with kind of a myriad of sensors to kind of overcompensate, I would say, to try and solve autonomy. So they will have LiDAR, radar, cameras, ultrasonic sensors, everything thrown on these cars. And if you ever get a chance to see these cars, they have you know, quite the sensor suites all over them to try and solve autonomy. Tesla is completely camera based, which they're the only ones realistically doing, and they are way ahead of the pack on everybody else. I mean, not only is throwing LiDAR and radar and all these sensors on vehicles expensive, but I mean, you're running into issues of aerodynamics and things like that. So again, Tesla full camera suite, give you a little show and tell here of what, you know, Tesla is doing. There is a 360, more cameras than what is shown here, kind of doing the work here. We are starting to get close to our destination here, so I will be switching our route, mid-route, and let's see how FSD handles me kind of changing my mind on the fly here. So a little bit more on FSD itself. Like I stated earlier, it was an invitation beta only for the longest time, up until fairly recently, where they did their open or wide release. So if you did pay and opt in for the FSD beta service, it should be available to everybody now. So a lot more people are going to be in this beta, kind of testing all these systems out. What happens with these beta tests is that FSD will take your drive data and upload it to its servers. It'll go through its processing, post-processing, and they will update the system as it goes. All updates are over the air, which is another huge advantage over what Tesla does with any sort of competition in the space, is that all their updates are done over the air, like you would have done with your cell phone or any app on your cell phone, things like that. So a lot more cars on the road testing it out means a lot more data, means hopefully a lot more improvements quicker. So we are coming up onto our destination here. So I will cancel this, navigate to a new location.
Now turn left onto Activist
I don't want to do that, no. Update, yeah, perfect. So it was going to originally try and take us left here, and I think onto the highways, which again I'm trying to avoid. I quickly had, changed the route, and it adapted quickly to that. So that's good. Good to hear. Should be fairly straightforward moving forward, so route-wise. So you can see, like I was saying, it's prioritizing these blue cars. That's what it is kind of most interested in at the moment. I mean, for obvious reasons. You really don't care what these cars are doing at the moment with red lights. You're more concerned with, a potential T-bone intersection crash. All right, lights green and off we go. Asked me to put pressure on the steering wheel, I did, and here we go. So asking to put pressure on the steering wheel. Again, I don't know the exact seconds, 30 seconds I'd say. It'll ask me to kind of show that I'm still here, but it is adaptive. So depending on weather conditions, what's going on, the complexity, it's going to prompt me to do that more and more often. The other day I went and drove, and it was pretty heavy rain, and it went down to probably about every 10 seconds. It's asking me to make sure I'm still here for obvious good reasons. Yeah, super, don't want to jinx it, but super impressive drive so far. Really not a lot I've had to do. Really is crazy sometimes to see, what this feature is picking up. I mean, even cars in their driveways, it's looking at, assessing, does it have to react to them? What are their speeds? Really, truly, and honestly, very impressive software. This is, in my opinion, the future of the automotive industry. The quote-unquote robo-taxi services, the get in a car and the car just drives you where you want to go. We're still at the the first stages of it right now. It has come a long way so far, but we're still at the beginning. But theoretically, within 10 years, people aren't going to need driver's license as you just kind of do the kind of Uber or Lyft kind of services just with no driver. And of course, Tesla themselves are going to have their own program moving forward with their robo-taxi.
200 meters, turn left onto
All right, so we have actually a complex situation coming up here. So there is some construction which is being directed by police on how to navigate. The lights are out. Let's see what it does. The Tesla is not going to understand hand signals. So if that cop had thrown up his hand to say stop,
now turn
the
left onto
Tesla would not have recognized that. I would have had to intervene. But, you know, that situation didn't come up. I guess, you know, kind of getting lucky that traffic was just moving forward. And we carried along like it was no issue. Good job, Tesla. You can see complexity has gone way up here in these scenarios. Look at all the cars now as we approach, you know, Saint Laurent Boulevard in Ottawa. It's a pretty busy street for sure. You can see even on the other side of the road where that police officer, you know, his vehicle is there. He's, you know, standing back here now. But even the cones he put out, everything, impressive. All right, green light moving forward. We got an advanced green for left. Yeah, nice smooth turn. Well done. So I do know coming up that there is a more complex situation, one that I don't think I've come across before. Is it's going to try some sort of on-ramp going into the mall that we're going to? I'm not quite sure. That'll be interesting to see. It is going to have to get into the right lane eventually. It's prioritizing that now, I think. Yeah. Well, didn't like something. Went back into this lane. All right. We got our next turn coming up in about a kilometer, a little over a kilometer, as you can see. Its next challenge will be to prioritize getting over in the next lane, kind of navigating that. See how it does. You'll notice too, as it starts thinking about it, it's going to throw up this kind of blue highlighted lane here of its you know, looking to switch. Yeah, there it goes now. So it's looking to find it. It's doing its calculations on what it thinks it's safe or not. Other car is letting us in. Yeah, they're turning. So all right, so of course I got a camera too hot warning, so I'll have to figure that out, how to avoid that moving forward. So the video cut out short, but as you can see, we made it to our destination. There was no issues at all. I mean, great drive. Any questions? I would really appreciate it. Any comments even. Really appreciate it if you just leave it in the comment section below. I'll try and answer everything that I can. Other than that, yeah, like and subscribe if you like this sort of content, and there'll be much more moving forward. Thank you.